Coco Gauff is taking her career in a new direction, leaving Roger Federer's Team 8 and joining up with entertainment moguls WME. And she has launched Coco Gauff Enterprises.
Coco Gauff just made the biggest power move of her career, launching her own management agency called Coco Gauff Enterprises. But not everyone's thrilled about it, especially Aryna Sabalenka. Let's just say the Belarusian star didn't hold back when the news dropped. Question for you. Was Sabalenka's reaction honest frustration or pure jealousy in disguise? Well, tennis fans, it finally happened. Coco Gauff has officially joined the ranks of athletes who are done letting others control their brand. She's out of Roger Federer's Team 8 and now running her own show. It's bold, it's unexpected, and apparently, it's driving Aryna Sabalenka crazy. Now, before we get into Sabalenka's reaction, let's set the stage. Coco Gauff's announcement came out of nowhere. No teasers, no press leaks. One simple post. This is the beginning of an exciting new era. As I grow as an athlete, entrepreneur, and changemaker, I want to take greater ownership of my career. That's a 21-year-old basically saying, I'm the boss now.
No, actually, everyone around me was like on board with it because like I know I could handle it. I think it was more just like on the mental side, like being there a lot of times, like mentally being on the site all the time could be like tiring. But, no, they were really encouraging because they knew it was something I wanted to do, and I was like, I mean, I'm young now, but I know eventually, I'm not going to be able to be playing doubles and singles and all of that. So I was like, I'm going to take advantage of it.
And honestly, that kind of confidence rubs some players the wrong way, especially when it comes from someone who's not only dominating on the court, but now calling her own business shots. Aryna Sabalenka's reaction? Let's just say it wasn't exactly the congratulations kind. Reports from inside player circles say Sabalenka was visibly annoyed when asked about Gauff's new venture during practice at the Cincinnati Open. She rolled her eyes, shrugged, and said something along the lines of, "Good for her, I guess." Everyone wants to be a CEO these days. Ouch. That one sentence perfectly sums up the quiet tension between these two. Because let's be honest, Sabalenka has been on edge ever since Gauff started stealing headlines both on and off the court. Remember the French Open drama, the loss, the post-match meltdown, and her comment about Gauff not playing incredible? Yeah, that didn't age well. Now fast forward a few months, Coco's not just winning titles, she's building an empire. And Sabalenka? She's still trying to convince people that she didn't mean what she said after that loss.
I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls.
It's hard not to see why this announcement hit a nerve. Gauff's move to create her own management agency, at just 21, is a massive shift in power. She's now in control of her brand, her deals, and her future. That's something most players don't get until retirement, if ever. Meanwhile, Sabalenka, who's 26 and one of the top-ranked players in the world, still has others managing her image and contracts. So yeah, you can imagine how that feels. Now here's where it gets spicy. People close to Sabalenka say she's been ranting privately that Coco's getting too much attention for business moves instead of tennis. Which is funny, because that's exactly what Coco wants, to redefine what being an athlete means.
Yeah, so the extension with me kind of started in the whole campaign with the doubters. It obviously started with my speech at US Open where I mentioned, allowing doubters to fuel me to do better. And I kind of realized that a lot of things that are told to small business owners are also things that are told to athletes and me specifically, whereas like I've heard a lot that I'm too young, or that I should just focus on tennis, or that you shouldn't do multiple things at once.
To her, being successful isn't just about lifting trophies. It's about controlling your legacy. And that's what's driving Sabalenka crazy. Because for someone who's built her image on raw emotion and pure athletic firepower, watching a younger rival turn into both a champion and a business mogul can sting. One insider even said Sabalenka vented to her team after practice, saying, "Everyone acts like Coco invented independence. We all make our own choices." Sure, Aryna. But let's be honest, there's a big difference between choosing a sponsor and creating your own agency from scratch. Coco Gauff just rewrote the rulebook. And that's why this is so much bigger than tennis drama. This is about the changing culture in sports. Athletes aren't just athletes anymore. They're entrepreneurs, brands, and public figures with real influence. Coco's move is part of that evolution, but for Sabalenka, it feels like losing control of the spotlight. Because not too long ago, Aryna was the one dominating the headlines, winning Grand Slams, making bold comments, showing emotion on court. She was the one fans talked about. Now, every headline has Coco Gauff in it. And that's tough to swallow, especially when the comparisons start rolling in. Coco's 21, has already won a Grand Slam, built a global fan base, and now owns her own company. Sabalenka's older, more experienced, but still seems like she's reacting instead of leading. Fans notice, the media notices, and you can bet Sabalenka notices too. During her last interview, a reporter casually asked how she felt about Coco's new business venture. She smiled, that tight, polite smile athletes give when they're trying not to explode, and said, "I'm focused on my own career. I'm not here to start a company, I'm here to win." Sounds like a dig, right? It's like saying, "Good luck running your business while I collect trophies." But the truth is, both of them are winning, just in different ways. Coco's playing the long game. She knows she won't be holding a racket forever. So instead of waiting for retirement to build something, she's doing it now. And that's what makes her smart. Meanwhile, Sabalenka's in fight mode. She wants the respect, the spotlight, and the dominance she feels she's earned. And to be fair, she has earned a lot. But the problem is, Coco Gauff's story is just more appealing right now. She's young, articulate, business-savvy, and relatable. Basically everything that makes sponsors line up. And that's what's pushing Aryna's buttons. Behind the scenes, WTA insiders say some players feel overshadowed by the Coco Gauff effect. They say she's everywhere. Ads, interviews, social causes, and now corporate meetings. Meanwhile, the rest of them are still stuck answering the same tired questions about rankings and training schedules. So when Sabalenka says she's tired of hearing Coco's name, it's not hard to believe. But here's where this gets ironic. The more Sabalenka complains, the bigger Coco's shadow grows. Every sarcastic comment turns into another headline. Sabalenka throws shade at Gauff. Sabalenka frustrated by Coco's fame. Sabalenka reacts to Coco's business move. She's literally feeding the narrative she hates. And that's the beauty of it. Coco doesn't even have to respond. She just smiles, posts a motivational quote, and goes back to building her empire. Because that's the part Sabalenka can't compete with. Control. Coco controls the story. Sabalenka just reacts to it. And in modern sports, that's what separates icons from the rest. Now here's the funny part. Coco Gauff never even mentioned Aryna Sabalenka. Not once. Not in interviews, not in posts, not in subtle shade. Nothing. Yet somehow, Sabalenka's acting like she just got personally attacked. It's almost like Coco's silence is louder than any words. And that silence clearly bothers Aryna more than anything else. Because Coco's moves speak louder. She doesn't need to say she's ahead, she just proves it. Now, to be fair, some fans think Sabalenka's frustration isn't just jealousy. They believe it's pressure. She's been trying to carry herself as one of the WTA's big personalities, fierce, emotional, and strong. But now all the focus has shifted. Instead of headlines about her powerful serves, all people talk about is how she reacts to Coco Gauff. And that's exhausting. Imagine working your whole career to be recognized for your game, only for people to turn every press conference into a Coco question. You can almost understand the attitude. Almost. But here's the problem. Sabalenka keeps making it worse for herself. Every sarcastic comment, every "I don't care" moment. It makes her look more insecure. Meanwhile, Coco is just out here stacking wins and signing contracts. She's working smarter, not louder. And you know who else noticed that? The sponsors. Because brands love someone who's confident, calm, and professional. That's Coco. Aryna? She's the opposite: unpredictable, passionate, and prone to saying things she regrets. That's great for headlines, but not for boardrooms. So when Gauff launched her agency, a company that literally controls brand deals, you can imagine how that looked to the rest of the tour. It's not just success, it's a reminder of who's in control. Even players like Iga Świątek reportedly congratulated Gauff privately, saying how inspiring it was to see her take charge so young. And guess who didn't? Yeah, Sabalenka. Not a single public word of support. And for tennis fans, that silence said everything. Because these players may smile for the cameras, but behind the scenes, it's a cold war of PR and perception. Every move is about image. Every post is calculated. Every quote can shift who's on top, not just in ranking, but in reputation. And right now, Coco Gauff's reputation is golden. Let's not forget, this is a player who became the youngest qualifier in Wimbledon history at 15. She beat Venus Williams in her first major appearance, then turned into a global star practically overnight. But instead of letting the fame control her, she learned how to control it. That's rare. And that's what drives Sabalenka nuts: Coco's control. Because while Aryna thrives in chaos, Coco thrives in calm. Sabalenka's emotions fuel her game, but they also expose her weaknesses. She explodes when things go wrong. Coco, she calculates, and now she's using that same mindset off the court. Think about this. While Sabalenka's trying to prove herself to reporters, Coco's literally running meetings about her brand. That's not competition. That's domination in a completely different arena. And you can bet the WTA noticed. Because if Coco Gauff can run her own agency, what stops other players from doing the same? Why rely on corporate management when you can hire your own team and keep full control of your money? That's the future Coco's building. And that's what Sabalenka and others fear. Because this isn't just about tennis, it's about power. Gauff has it. Sabalenka wants it. But the way they go after it couldn't be more different. Sabalenka swings hard, both on court and off. She's fire, emotion, and impulse. Coco? She's precision, patience, and planning. One burns fast, the other builds slow. And in the long run, that's the difference between temporary fame and lasting legacy. Coco's thinking beyond trophies. She's thinking about influence, business, ownership, the kind of control athletes like LeBron and Serena built their empires on. She's not waiting for her career to end to become a mogul. She's starting while she's still winning. And that's why this move hit like a thunderbolt in women's tennis. Fans are calling it a power shift because for the first time in years, someone's actually breaking the traditional model. Federer's Team 8 was built on safety and perfection, polished press, safe choices, flawless PR. Coco's model is real, direct, and fearless. She's her own brand now, and she's not asking for approval. Now, Sabalenka can keep mocking it all she wants, but deep down, she knows it's smart, because Coco's playing chess while everyone else is still arguing over checkers. And the beauty of it? Coco doesn't even need to clap back. Her success is the clapback. She doesn't need to win the argument. She already owns the room. The tennis world is changing, and Coco Gauff just made herself the symbol of that change. More power to her. So, do you think Aryna Sabalenka's reaction was just natural frustration, or is this pure jealousy over Coco's next-level business move? Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, smash subscribe, and turn on that bell so you don't miss the next one. Because this rivalry, it's only getting better.